Hey y'all, Michelle Raza here with Finding Yourself SATX Life Coaching, helping you find your best self since 2017. Today we're going to continue covering Dr. Lindsay Gibson's works, starting with a few definitions, and today we're going to talk about emotional loneliness. So these definitions come out of her Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents book. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. Got to put a plug in for my website, so if you get a chance, please check it out at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. There you can start your life coaching journey for only 99 cents. Thanks, y'all. Okay, emotional loneliness. So Dr. Gibson starts her chapter talking about what emotional loneliness is. Our last video, we covered emotionally immature parents, emotionally immature people. So let me go ahead and get started reading. This is chapter 1 of her book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Okay. What is emotional loneliness? Emotional loneliness comes from not having enough emotional intimacy with other people. It can start in childhood due to feeling emotionally unseen by self-preoccupied parents, or it can arise in adulthood when an emotional connection is lost. If it's been a lifelong feeling, it points to the likelihood of not being sufficiently emotionally responded to as a child. Growing up in a family with emotionally immature parents is a lonely experience. These parents may look and act perfectly normal, caring for their child's physical health and providing meals and safety. However, if they don't make a solid emotional connection with their child, the child will have a gaping hole where true security might have been. The loneliness of feeling unseen by others is as fundamental a pain as physical injury, but it doesn't show on the outside. Emotional loneliness is a vague and private experience, not easy to see or describe. You might call it a feeling of emptiness or being alone in the world. Some people have called this feeling existential loneliness, but there is nothing existential about it. If you feel it, it came from your family. Children have no way of identifying a lack of emotional intimacy in their relationship with a parent. It isn't a concept they have. And it's even less likely that they can understand that their parents are emotionally immature. All they have is a gut feeling of emptiness, which is how a child experiences loneliness. With a mature parent, the child's remedy for loneliness is simply to go to the parent for affectionate connection. But if your parent was scared of deep feelings, you might have been left with an uneasy sense of shame for needing comforting. When the children of emotionally immature parents grow up, the core emptiness remains, even if they have a superficially normal adult life. Their loneliness can continue into adulthood if they unwittingly choose relationships that can't give them enough emotional connection. They may go to school, work, marry, and raise children, but all the while they'll still be haunted by that core sense of emotional isolation. Dr. Gibson goes on in her chapter, she talks about repeating the past. So one of the things that we discover is if you grew up in a house with emotionally immature parents, and that is kind of your normal, without any type of introspection, therapy, coaching, you're not going to want to change from that normal. Even though that normal is horrid and it doesn't leave you feeling fulfilled in any way, it is your normal. And so that is often why somebody who comes from parents that are emotionally immature will end up partnering romantically with somebody that is also emotionally immature and just repeat the cycle. It feels normal, so we repeat our past. She also talks about romantic relationships. So the time where you can feel seen and heard, and if you watch my short, I'll just repeat it. So emotional loneliness basically comes from feeling unseen and unheard. And you could be surrounded by people, but you would still feel lonely because none of them really know you or see you or understand you. And so the cure, as was so poignantly said in Avatar, is for someone to really to do that, for someone to say to you, I see you, Jake Sully, for someone to be there for you, and for you to feel supported by them. And so the first opportunity outside of our parent-child relationships that we have that is within your romantic partnerships. That's the closest relationship that you have. Ideally, your romantic partner is also your best friend. And it's not just someone that you sleep with. You build a life with them and you're close emotionally with them. And when you're suffering from emotional loneliness, it can make it hard to trust that person enough to build that connection. She also talks about people who have emotionally immature parents and then find it difficult when they end up caring for their parents because they have a lot of resentment. And some of those people remain single and kind of think that they'll never be able to partner with anyone or be happy with anyone simply because of how they were raised, which is incredibly false. And Dr. Gibson covers it both in this book, in the Recovering from Emotionally Immature Parents, and then in her third book, The Self-Care for Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. So don't want to take up too much of y'all's time today, but I will close out with this other section of her book called, it's on page 11, How Children Cope with Emotional Loneliness. Emotional loneliness is so distressing that a child who experiences it will do whatever is necessary to make some kind of connection with the parent. These children may learn to put other people's needs first as the price of admission to a relationship. Instead of expecting others to provide support or show interest in them, they may take on the role of helping others, convincing everyone that they have few emotional needs of their own. Now, if y'all have followed me in the Codependency series, you would hear a lot of overlap here, right? This is the beginning and the building of a codependent person. I have no needs. I'm just going to be focused on your needs, and I'm going to lose myself in your world. Codependency 101. Unfortunately, this tends to create even more loneliness, since covering up your deepest needs prevents genuine connection with others. Lacking adequate parental support or connection, many emotionally deprived children are eager to leave childhood behind. They perceive that the best solution is to grow up quickly and become self-sufficient. These children become competent beyond their years, but lonely at their core. They often jump into adulthood prematurely, getting jobs as soon as they can, becoming sexually active, marrying early, or joining the service. It's as though they're saying, since I'm already taking care of myself, I might as well go ahead and get the benefits of growing up fast. They look forward to adulthood, believing it offers freedom and a chance to belong. Sadly, in their rush to leave home, they may end up marrying the wrong person, tolerating exploitation, or staying with a job that takes more than it gives. They often settle for emotional loneliness in their relationships because it feels normal to them, like their early home life. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Please check out this book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. We have an entire playlist covering it, as well as covering Dr. Gibson's second book, Recovering from Emotionally Immature Parents. Very happy to have you guys here with me today. I'll link to those other playlists and look forward to talking with you in the next couple of weeks. So we're just kind of laying the groundwork. I don't want to jump straight into into Dr. Gibson's book 3, because for some of you, this may be the first time that you're seeing it. So last video, I covered what is an emotionally immature person. Basically, that is somebody who does not validate your inner world. And so that person, whether it's a parent or a loved one or just someone in your life, they make you feel pretty hollow and empty. Their interactions with you just do not leave you fulfilled. And especially as an adult, right, it becomes more of a chore than a pleasure to have any type of relationship with them. And so in this video, we covered emotional loneliness. Basically, that's the foundation. That's what an EIP creates in you. An EIP doesn't validate your inner world, doesn't see you, doesn't hear you. You're just there for whatever they need, right? Whatever they're into, and this is enmeshment, whatever they're into, whatever the EIP is into, they expect their loved one to also be into it. And they're not particularly interested in anything that you're into that may be slightly different. As a parent myself, every parent wants to introduce their child. They want the best for their child, right? So I introduced my child to all kinds of things that I thought were cool. My kid didn't. She just, certain things she liked and certain things she didn't like. And she's her own little human being. And the things that she likes and that she's into aren't necessarily the things that I am. But I support her and I love her. And I recognize that we're two different people with two different tastes. So we don't have to love the same things. And she's still my child and I love her. And she still loves me and everything's all good. But with an EIP, that's not the way it goes, right? It's my way or the highway. If you don't like this, well, you must not be cultured, right? They'll find a way to put you down, make you feel less than. So it's not really you, right? If you're taking the time to watch this video and you have this emotional loneliness in your life, or you had experiences like that where you couldn't really express yourself or have your own likes, it's due to the people in your life. And so as we go through these videos, you can watch the other playlists, but it's going to take some work for you to find that independence on yourself, because you do deserve to be validated, you do deserve to be seen, and you do deserve to be heard. And so if the people in your life are not giving that to you, then you need to create a circle around you that can support you, that can provide you that. So thanks again for hanging out with me. Look forward to talking with y'all in a couple of weeks. And please check out my website, www.findingyourselfsatx.com. Take care, y'all.